right into my mouth and then like into the ground at the same time.
Fuck, dude.
And it not only knocked this tooth, this already capped tooth out, and then it knocked this one back.
Oh, fuck,
and
man.
somehow this one's fine. This one's a nice
They
sturdy
just pushed
tooth.
it back.
They just like, yeah, whatever. And then they capped again.
That's crazy. The root didn't die or anything.
But I think I think that's why I got a fucked up tooth.
Now I
think it is maybe a little, whatever.
Like the nerves are messed up.
Yeah.
I've got two quick tooth stories. One time,
Tooth.
my best friend in the world, hit me in the canine, my right canine, and I felt it like through my whole skull.
Oh.
And to this day, when it's like really cold or just windy, and I'm like on my bike, I feel it crack.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like it's still like the tooth is still alive. It's fine.
Oh yeah. I get the worst. Like electric pain in my mouth whenever there's a cold or I'm skating and there's wind or like I eat ice cream or something. Fuck.
What was the second story?
Just knock all my teeth
well,
out.
I have a very minor chip on one of my front teeth that the dentist said was like so small they can't really do anything about it because it's almost imperceptible to anybody but me.
Yeah.
And it happened while I was drinking a beer at Studio 35 watching a movie. And it was a pint glass, and I think it was like empty, so I was reclined a bit.
Yeah.
And I put it up to my mouth and slipped, and it just hit my tooth. And I was on a date, and I remember I noticed it right away, and I like ran to the bathroom. I was looking in the mirror, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Nothing happened.
I just I saw it. I was like, "God damn it!"
But it's so small. It's just like
I see.
But it's still it's upsetting. It's like, I'm just gonna live with this forever now.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's just like
that's
the memory you have now.
That's the feeling you have when you knock your teeth out. You're like, this is forever now. God damn it! Like, I forever am this toothless idiot.
Yeah.
With missing his two fucking front teeth.
I remember just being the second time I knocked my teeth out, I was like crying, not because I was in pain necessarily, it was because like my mom has to fucking pay for this shit again.
Yeah, and that's a stressor that it sucks that kids have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and she was like a single mom. I don't know if we had insurance. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck, I was just saying I'm sorry all the time. And I think I went to school one day with it fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I had a fucked up grill, dude. It was... I don't know. I couldn't... At the time, I was like, fuck it. It's cool. But, man...
When I knocked mine out
brave.
last year, it was weird because 3 weeks after it happened... When it happened the night of, I was so drunk I didn't really feel most of it.
Yes.
But,
this happened... For the listeners, Andrew was at his cousin's wedding.
Yes.
It's been covered more than one time.
No.
Yeah, but this could be their first episode.
That's true. But I'm saying, you can go back...
It was
Listen to all 53 of them. Find where we talked about it.
It was my brother's wedding. My brother's wedding.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason I was so shit.
Big fat brother's wedding.
Well, Andrew's family is so big and intermingled that his brothers and cousins are the same.
They're the same.
My brother's wedding.
That's why we were talking about the inbreeding with the...
But my cousin fixed the tooth the same night. The teeth the same night.
Right.
Anyway, 3 weeks later... I was at the Kentucky Derby.
His cousin is a horse dentist.
I was at the Kentucky Derby.
So those teeth are so much bigger.
And I was in
all I had was horse teeth.
I was in so much pain that I took, what was it, is it Novocaine?
That's why that's why he neighs in his sleep.
Whatever that
exactly
tooth anesthetic is, I was just sucking on it like a sucker. Like I had.
Oh yeah.
I had it constantly in my mouth.
Oh, I feel like that's dangerous.
It's dangerous,
you were
but
drunk too.
No. At the Kentucky Derby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was making jokes.
I know you didn't listen to any of the story, but
I wasn't.
No, I was listening.
I was too busy thinking about horse jokes.
Are there horse jokes?
Oh, there was a. What do you mean? There's always a joke to be made about anything.
Name one joke about a horse.
Why'd the horse cross the road?
Because it can.
That's it. That's the joke.
Because it's technically a motor vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was carrying a wagon.
It's got a giant heart in it that pumps blood through it. You know, that's the horsepower.
Horses actually have 4 hearts, one for each powerful leg.
Is it in the leg or is it in the center?
Most horses have 4 horsepower.
Do they have? Oh shit!
Because they have. It's per leg.
Wait, then what's one horsepower?
1 horsepower is
so if you cut a horse's leg off
of a horse.
and it's just sitting there, it's still 1 horsepower.
It's like really good at balancing itself.
Yeah.
It's got a really fucking you can't knock a 1 horsepower because that one powerful rod of a leg that's carrying the whole bod. He's just constantly in momentum.
That rod carries the bod.
You know what they say. One rod.
I think all 4 of the legs
carries the bod.
Carry
well, it only has one, so 2 horsepower is 2-legged. You can go. Hopefully, ideally now you got catty corner legs. You got your front left. And your back right to even yourself out.
Because otherwise you would be really fucked up.
Well, but if you got the front.
I think you could.
If you got the front, then you're doing like a nose wheelie.
I don't know if that would
the whole time. And 2 back, that's kind of badass. You're just always in like reared up position, and then you're just
real horse talk. Horses cannot bend backwards. To save their life.
Well, they do the thing. They do the
like when
I do it in video.
Have you ever seen a horse flip over like a fence,
like a backflip
or something? Like if they ever get into a situation where they fall backwards, their back does not bend.
Oh yeah, they like
slightly back.
Roll.
It's not even. It's like you're flipping a toy. Like
so when they rear up, their back is
rigid. Still.
Yeah.
Well, it's like their hip is like that's how I imagine it. Their hip is kind of like a ball joint, and so their body is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't explain it in words, but I am visually doing a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
No, I think I get it.
Yeah.
Horses. It's really hard whenever, like, in a movie, like, even, like, stunt horses. I'm assuming they're stunt horses. Maybe they're just horses that they just kick over. Like in a cowboy movie, for example, and they get shot or whatever and they fall. That's always like... Yeah, but it's like... Ooh, that is hard to look at.
They're, like, so... heavy and they have such thin legs. It's hard to watch.
It's hard to see them because you're like you're something snapping right now, or like you're just gonna fucking break your neck.
With us though, like when we fall, technically we should be breaking stuff, but it's our
but we're a lot more like we're loosey goosey.
Yeah,
we're loose. Yeah,
they're a lot more sturdy. You know, they're kind of like those action figures, those old wrestling action figures that only. They had you could move them at the arms, and then at the waist, they didn't even move. They just had that pull-down thing, and their neck got longer. You guys too young for that?
I don't know.
I had these like weird wrestlers, they would only spin at the waist, but their legs were a one piece, like they were together, and they like would rotate or whatever. They just had rubber bands inside of them.
I think I kind of remember that. Yeah.
And then humans would be a set a GI Joe. We got the rubber bands inside. We're all flexing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those rubber bands. Those always
they would. I would just launch them. I would just like launch people. Yeah. I had. How much were GI Joes back in the day? Like
I don't know.
$6 probably. $8.
If that.
Man, I had hundreds of them.
I feel like,
and I just destroyed them all, lit them on fire and shit.
I feel like for my whole life, video games have been about the same price. You know, like now they're $60, but they used to be $50, and I feel like they should have.
$60 really? Yeah, I remember being like $30 for like.
You mean Nintendo
PS2.
days? They were still that expensive.
I don't see back then. I was not concerned with money.
Yeah, I had no idea how much anything.
I was never
cost.
the one buying them because I was so young.
I feel like they were
a lot. I had very few educational games. That was it.
On what? On which system?
On the Nintendo.
The OG Nintendo?
Yeah.
Nice.
But you were raised just outside that Amish community, so you were lucky to have anything.
Yeah, I know.
You had the
the power lines came to our house, and that was it. That's where they stopped.
And the power there was a generator that was made by a butter churner.
Yeah.
That way they just like.
If the Amish knew about that.
I think that was a Mennonite family. They were like, listen, we can use a little electricity. We got the van, you know.
I like the idea that the power lines just stopped right at your house.
There's this like one strung up.
You know how much effort, how much money that would cost?
Yeah.
To just make that
happen?
It's
a joke. It's not real.
but you were also that poor, and the only reason you're that poor is because like you spend all the money just to have electricity in this one place, even though you could easily have just gotten an economy apartment in town.
Actually, I'm pretty sure people who live in like Wyoming have to deal with that shit, like bringing power lines over mountains and shit.
Yeah, having a personal generator is a lot more important of an issue for them.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still got to be tied in. At some point, your personal generator doesn't unless you're feeding it diesel constantly. You gotta have some power.
That's what I'm saying. Well, just having a backup, having a fucking hamster wheel situation. You got your dog running. all the time.
What was the dog?
What was the name of that dog?
What was the name of that dog again?
What dog? Oh,
fireplace dog.
The Turnspit dog.
Turnspit dog.
Oh
Absolutely.
shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that wasn't even meant to be a reference.
And that's
but
a real.
I made a joke, but that's just real as fuck.
There used to be a dog that was bred similar to a corgi to run in a large hamster wheel that was connected to a pulley system that would turn a turnspit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and
they would literally hang food outside the wheel so the dog would continue to run.
Mm-hmm. Just to turn over your ham.
Yeah,
that's it.
Get like that real good glaze.
Get that consistent mechanic glazing on the outside of it. Yeah.
If I had a turnspit dog, I'd name it Rotisserie.
Name it Boston Market.
Say that's the breed. The Boston Market.
A Boston Terrier. It's a Boston
Market Terrier, yeah. It's probably the best thing to come out of Precious Puppies. It's just that.
Oh, don't you fucking say anything negative about Precious Puppies ever again.
That was technically something positive.
No.
I said something positive about it.
It's the hair club for movies. We watch the movies.
Ooh, that was good. I like the end there.
Yeah.
Thanks. Been working on it.
You're getting better with the melody.
Mm-hmm. Oh, am I?
Your experiments.
You resolved.
I had to resolve the melody. Yeah, thanks for noticing that. So this is the Hair Club for Movies. We watch the movies. I'm the Drew.
My name is Michael.
Andrew. And this week we watched my pick.
Your pick.
My pick.
Andrew picked The Life Aquatic.
The Life Aquatic.
The Watery Life Abroad.
You see, I always say The Adventures of Life Aquatic. Is that the full name?
No.
The Adventures of Life Aquatic?
I don't know why.
The Life Aquatic.
It's just The Life Aquatic.
With Steve Zissou.
Yeah. I've made that mistake for so long.
You said that you watched this movie fucking 15 times.
I know, but I don't stare at the title card. I just know.
I do.
The general name.
I do.
It's The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I get that. But for some reason, I always want to say The Adventures.
Don't.
The Adventures.
I don't know why.
The Adventures of The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
I don't know why.
And family.
Just saying.
Let's do a quick summary. Most people have probably seen this movie. But
yeah, most people. Well, most people that listen to us.
Yeah.
I think.
Whatever. Yeah. Bill Murray plays Steve Zissou.
And he is a Jacques Cousteau-like character.
Jacques Cousteau. Yes, you're right. Especially those films. Yeah, the way that he makes himself look.
It's there's the end credit. The very last credit is one of the last credits is thank you, or maybe it's the first credit at the beginning before all the credits says thank you to fucking Jacques Cousteau and the Jacques Cousteau Foundation who blah 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 contributed to this movie.
They contributed.
Yeah, in some way.
Really?
Yeah,
I did
the boats. That. Yeah, it's in the movie.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, it's obviously
it's
not even. It's
without that
supposed to
be clearly yeah. But I'll do a summation in 3 sentences. How about that? And they're not going to be run-on sentences.
Okay.
I doubt that.
Filmmaker, adventurer has his co-founder or his partner. His partner killed by a leopard shark.
Jaguar shark.
I thought it was jaguar shark.
It's Jaguar shark.
Okay, Jaguar.
15 times.
Okay.
I finished watching it about an hour ago. So
okay, Jaguar shark. They go on a mission to discover it with his newly discovered maybe son, and the newly discovered maybe son, through a series of events, ends up dying, and they find the leopard shark and saving the second part of the movie.
Well, and the future endeavors of Steve
Zissou, yeah. Because of his comeback.
Yeah.
And that's it.
If you were to say that's the movie to some person, be like, well, that doesn't sound like
all the humor and stuff cannot be included in the summary.
It is a pretty simple movie. Yeah, it's a revenge movie.
Well, kind of. It is funny because
I don't actually think. I think.
It's not
watching this, and
it's a revenge movie for everything.
I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and I often equate stories to how that would translate into a D&D scenario.
Yeah.
This is a really easy translation. You have your heroic, sometimes or silly leader,
Misguided?
Eccentric.
Misguided.
That's my word for this entire movie is eccentric.
Well, it's Wes Anderson.
I know.
And he's got his crew. They go on adventures. They even, at one of the last things, maybe the last line, Steve Zissou says, it's an adventure, as like the show gets out. And I think, you know, you see party members come and go. His wife is one of those people that's, you know, sometimes in support and
sometimes not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people die. They have different goals throughout.
Yeah. This is such a sad movie. Like, I love it. It's so funny, but, like, I still get sad when Ned dies. Like, every time. It's so powerful.
I tried to watch this movie differently just because I said last time I was going to try to find things that I dislike. What?
Did you watch it upside down?
I watched it. Actually, if you guys have seen the Goonies, you know that thing that Josh Brolin is hanging from in the doorway, and just his feet hanging? I hung from that and watched this movie.
Nice.
Yeah. It's interesting. Subtitles. Hard to read when you're upside down.
Some would say impossible.
I wouldn't.
I mean, they flash on the screen.
You can figure
it out.
Instant. They're usually there like a second beforehand, which is annoying. Yeah. Don't watch comedies, by the way. Don't watch like stand-up comedy, especially with fucking subtitles.
Because you're going to get the punchline before it gets delivered.
Yeah. I don't know why you would.
I don't. Like, when we watched the Dave Chappelle... That would suck. Well, but it's hard. Like, it's different when you're trying to focus on dialogue or whatever. Even like shows like The Office, like that shows a lot about timing. And if you like have a subtitle on, and it's like it ruins. Or like
the delivery.
There's a dramatic pause, and it's like I'm actually your father, you know, kind of beat, and you get it like you get it in the beat, like and you can't you see it and you try to ignore it, but it's it, you try to deny it, but
it steals the thunder.
Yeah, sometimes subtitles fuck that shit up if they're not perfectly timed.
Comedy would suck for subtitles.
Yeah, stand up specifically. But anyway, no, I didn't watch it upside down. But I was just trying to be critical. But I'm trying to be critical. It's hard to not be critical of a movie I've seen so many times, especially now, like we've talked about before, watching movies now, it's different because of the way I'm watching movies because of this fucking podcast and shit. But,
you're coming in with the criticism is what you're saying.
Coming in with the crits.
What's your first criticism?
Wait, dude. Hold on. I had a point. You were talking about something that I was just going to add, that I was going to build on, and now... Doesn't matter.
I gave you time to say what you were going to say, man.
That was... I forgot what you were going to... Anyway... There's so many things that I hate about this movie. Let me just say how much I fucking hate this movie. Okay? Oh, well, like, it's like the hero's journey. And it's like Steve Zissou, I guess I didn't realize how much of an actually not good person he is. Like, he's not a good person. Like, he's like a...
But he's got the Zissou, so...
But he's got the Zissou.
Yeah.
But no, I mean...
He's comedically not a good person, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's funny how little care he has.
But if he were actually existing and he were your dad, you'd be like, man, fuck that guy. My dad's a piece of shit.
Well, when he says, call me Steve Z and not Dad.
He said, I hate dads, I never wanted to be one.
See, yeah. He said
I hate fathers, I never wanted to be one.
That was his excuse.
I think that's the most... That is the most important line that his character delivers and says so much about him.
Yeah, and that's why he wants to be Steve Z.
He wants to be Steve Z.
Yeah.
And, I just derailed whatever you're saying.
You
sound like you want to be negative here.
No.
What else do you have?
I mean, it's hard. I'm just not negative, just critical.
I just thought of that, actually. That line he delivered, saying, I never wanted to be a dad, or whatever.
He said, I never wanted to be a father, or I always hated fathers, I never wanted to be one, or something like that.
When he loses Esteban, and
that was his father figure.
Well, it's his father. Maybe it's his father figure, or maybe it's his personal partner. But what it was puts his peer, whatever. It puts him in the position of being a father for everyone. Does that make sense?
He doesn't share the brunt anymore.
Yeah, like he is all of a sudden like the sole leader of this boat, and maybe that's why this whole movie is him having this like feeling.
I mean, this movie is about fathers and sons.
It is.
I mean, to boil it down, there's a few things that you can boil it down to. I mean, I've just been I was thinking about the themes of just Wes Anderson movies in general, because after watching this, like, when I was just thinking about what are the themes here or whatever, and it's like, this is kind of the same. He tells the same stories over and over again. The same model, like forbidden / inappropriate love.
And not just fathers and sons.
Not just fathers and sons.
Families
absent and unattentive fathers, specifically. I think maybe that's Wes Anderson pulling from his actual life. Probably. I mean, fuck.
How could it not?
I mean, it's always about families, But even deeper, I think broken people.
Well, also just like a position, like a trainer-trainee sort of thing. But I mean,
fathers and sons.
Yeah, like you talked to Lord Mandrake, Steve Zissou's mentor. He talks about a lot, and then it sounds like Esteban was sort of his partner, but also someone he looked up to.
Yeah, it's it's fathers and sons. Like whatever.
Rushmore, the first one I ever saw.
Yeah, Rushmore.
I still love that movie. It's about I don't remember anybody's character names in it, but Bill Murray's character is like filling a role for what's his name?
Max Fisher.
Max Fisher.
I know that because I went to high school with a kid named Max Fisher.
Ah!
Wow.
And it was his first role too.
I still haven't seen Rushmore.
What? You're fucking up.
It's good.
I know.
It's good.
I haven't.
It's actually funnier, I would say. It's more of like a straightforward comedy.
It defined the Bill Murray as like an older kind of smarmy guy. Yeah. That was his like defining new Bill Murray.
No,
Bill Murray we know
the
now.
scene where he's having a cigarette in the hospital utility elevator and he like pours the last of a bottle of hooch into his can of something and then hides it in the linens, like the clean linens for the hospital. And he's got a black eye, I think.
I just imagine he just like drinking whiskey and he just walks off the diving board or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many and that's another theme that
awesome.
like on that is I wrote it like quick hard cuts, juxtaposition, jumping scene to scene.
Yeah.
A series of setups. That's what I was thinking of, like, because I know that he spends so much time on like whatever wardrobe and composition, and it like that's why you can see there are these quick shots and there's so much happening in the frame, and it's like 15-20 seconds of just like dry dialogue and like something exciting happening here and then something in the foreground and there's like juxtaposition of colors and like okay beat we're moving along. Here's a list of things. Here's a quick. Here's a sandwich. Here's a different kind of sandwich. And another kind of sandwich. And, cheese.
And you guys probably know there's a name for, I'm sure, the way he frames shots with, like, the vanishing point being directly in the center. You know what I mean? So everything looks like it's a model, even if it's not. And then he uses models as well.
Dude, the fucking...
Yeah.
I mean,
he does that a lot, actually. Like, there's a shot with Kate Blanchett's character.
Dude, the models.
You don't get me started.
There's a shot with Kate Blanchett's character and Mrs. Zissou, or what's her name? What's the character's name? Eleanor, right?
Yeah,
Eleanor. She's in the kitchen and Kate Blanchett's like in the foreground outside the kitchen window.
Yeah.
And everything looks so flat and like it looks like the kitchen maybe goes back 2 feet behind Eleanor. But when the camera finally zooms in, like for like one of the few times
you see the depth.
You see the depth finally, and you're like, oh, that's a gigantic kitchen. But the way this is all shot, it looks so cramped and like confined. It's incredible how it can, I don't know, if you just set up the camera the correct way, you can make everything feel a certain way.
There's a similar scene right before Ned dies, before they get on the helicopter, when Ned is encouraging Steve to go back out there and find the jaguar shark, and he does the like all hands in, and then he mimes it once, then does it again. If you look in the background, out of focus, you see Klaus watching them down the hallway. He goes hands.
Yeah. I forgot.
Which is
I did not see that.
It's so funny, but also it's like meaningful. Like that's everyone's so over the top. Like that's just what you get from this movie.
Willem Dafoe is the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
I really like I can't remember his name.
There's so many little things like you're talking
about. Bill Udall, the Bond Company stooge. I love the line where he's talking to I can't remember anybody's names. Jeff Goldblum's character.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah, after like it's like the way.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Oh my
Hennessy.
God,
his name is something whatever Hennessy.
Yeah,
it's by far my favorite line.
Yeah, they fucking stole it, man.
It's the pause. It's like he pauses as if he's gonna make up a lie, and then he gives up like so hard.
It's also the fact that
stole it, man.
He's been completely indoctrinated into the Zissou.
Yeah,
way. He's like fucking drunk and maybe a little high. Like
he fucking stole it, man. He got fucking kidnapped.
Yeah.
He's on the crew and he assumes that like these people don't even like him. They didn't even want him there. Yeah. And then they come to a heroic rescue.
Yeah, for him.
Yeah. Like for his purpose. And
It's all of it. The when he's like getting kidnapped and he's like speaking Filipino and then he actually what is it, Steve Zissou, he's like, tell them if they don't get off my boat right now, there's gonna be a major shitstorm. And then he speaks in Filipino.
And now they're telling me they're going to take me because I speak Filipino.
So now that they know I speak Filipino, they seem to be changing their mind.
Yeah.
I read that they did translate there's going to be a major shitstorm into Filipino, and that's exactly what the guy said.
Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah.
Which is so funny.
Why would you include that if you're not going to actually use...
Yeah. No, it's just the fact that, like, he did say it.
Yeah,
and he didn't try and, like, you know, culturally ease them into, like, please get off my boat or anything like that, which most translators do. He just said there's going to be a major shitstorm.
Well, do you guys recognize
him?
The character Bill Udall, actually. Yeah, Ubell. From anything else, a classic cult film?
I don't...
One that
now that you're going to tell me and I'm going to...
Yeah,
I wanted to...
I'm going to scream.
So, have you ever seen Harold and Maude?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, man, I should pick that movie sometime.
Yeah, you should pick that movie. And that's one. Remember.
Well, so it was like one of his first films. He's a young man. His name's Bud Cort. And I mean, no offense to Bud Cort, because he hasn't been in a lot, but he does a good job in everything, but he's kind of a weird-looking guy.
Yeah.
Which is probably part of the
He looks kind of like a chihuahua.
A little bit.
Like a grown-up man chihuahua.
But, I mean, I love him. I think he's great in this, and he's awesome in Harold and Maude. I just wish I had seen it more.
That's a movie, that's been on... That's one of those movies, like, I know I haven't fucking seen it. I know I need to see it. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Don't fucking tell me what movies I need to see.
Fuck off, Paul Simon.
God damn it. Fucking... Paul Simon? He wrote a song for that, too?
I think so.
You're thinking about The Graduate, I believe.
I feel like it's the same. It's that era, 1971.
Well, but it's interesting that you confuse, because they're both, like, about inappropriate relationships, right? Yeah. Isn't that about, like, a young man and an old woman, and The Graduate is the same
Have you seen
thing?
The Graduate?
I haven't seen The Graduate either.
Okay.
You haven't seen The Graduate?
Graduate's actually good enough that I watch it for fun. Like, it's a good movie.
I know.
I know this sounds stupid, but I actually watched it the day after I graduated college.
That's not stupid.
It was impactful as hell.
Shit like that can be like... It can be just for you. You don't need to tell people that you're doing it, but like...
Exactly.
I feel like I need this to do...
Yeah,
I understand
because it's a really good movie, even if you can't commiserate what he's going through. But the fact that you can...
Yeah, it was... Oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah.
I think it's not the only reason it was good, but it added so much more.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure...
Coming of age.
I'm sure I share that experience with like a million other people. It's just so good. But speaking of the music... How good was the music in this movie?
Well, I feel like the music, I think it was a conscious choice, obviously, whatever, to pick David Bowie, but like putting David Bowie behind anything automatically makes like whatever you're doing that much cooler.
Yeah.
And like Bowie stuff now, I feel like, I mean, whatever. After he died, especially like...
There's a little bit more
like,
there's a little bit more pain in it.
Yeah, yes. It, like, puts so much more weight on the fucking shit, dude. It's really, like, I don't know.
Because it was, him being alive, it was already
well, it's
the
finite
best.
Now. Like, it's a completed work now.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and it's all, like, you know, you could hear him say, like, Life on Mars, dude.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Yeah.
Like, that song is, like, it's
so
a ballad, so it's already, like, kind of heavy. And it's already it's a sad song already. Yeah. Any of those...
I like
Ziggy Stardust,
5 years is a really good one, in my opinion.
Just pick one,
dude. Yeah,
like it's really like that. And but putting, I mean, every song in here is a cool song.
Yeah.
There's fucking the only other not Bowie. Well, there's a few not Bowie songs, but fucking Iggy and the Stooges in a gunfight.
Yeah,
dude, like badass.
That was
automatically cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And the only thing about the song that really, when they finally are all in the submarine.
That's Sigur Rós.
No, it's not Sigur Rós. It's
it is.
It is
the one when the jaguar shark.
The boom 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 boom.
The one
you mean
like
the goofy one when they're just submerging?
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the sort of high energy like.
No, it's
techno.
like a happy. Yeah, it's like it's not techno, but yeah, Sigur Rós.
Sigur Rós is the one when they see the jaguar shark.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. It's like boom boom boom.
That's Sigur Rós.
No.
It is, for sure.
I promise.
It's called Star of Florida.
Whatever the fuck it is. That song is so, like,
but
out
I do
of
think
place.
you might be thinking of a different part of the movie.
I'm talking specifically about when they're in the submarine and the pink shit happens and then they finally see the fucking shit. There's that fucking song.
I'm willing to bet, like,
okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like it in the movie because it feels, like, different. What? Because I'm saying, all the rest of the songs...
Maybe it was meant to.
Well, sure, but all the rest of the songs are either like cool 70s Bowie or the Stooges, or there's that.
That's his most vulnerable moment. Even
I understand.
Ned's death included. Like,
I understand, but I think that they picked. It's a newer song. I wish they would have picked an older song because it just doesn't fit. Because the movie. Like, I know, like, in the Wes Anderson universe, it kind of is in this,
weird,
anomalous,
time.
whatever.
Nostalgic era.
Yeah, it's always nostalgic, but of specific times, the 70s, I feel like, late 60s, maybe a little early 80s.
Are you just saying this as a personal choice?
Well,
did it really take you out of the scene?
I'm saying it takes me because it seems it like the soundtrack and the score, which the score is Mark Mothersbaugh, by the way, Devo, but like there is this really cultivated, like really well thought out, like it's a bunch of Bowie songs, and then there's like
George, like that sort of
with those
adds a bit of unfamiliarity to it, so it's like you're in a different place.
Yeah. But they're old. It's like a time. There's a time that has that warm sound of the 70s, and then there's this new clean sounding song.
I want to defend that before we get away.
No, it's a personal. It's a personal.
The whole tone of this movie is letting go of times past, like. His ship is falling apart.
Okay.
Every piece of equipment, they're running out of money. They used to be this great adventuring group that like was world class. You know, everyone wanted to be a part of Team Zissou, and at this point, most of that glory has gone away. And throughout the movie, they're just trying to catch back some of that glory, and that they're playing all this old music, David Bowie mostly, old nostalgic stuff. And then when they finally find the jaguar shark, their adventure, their quest is at a close. There's something new, and it is, it is also alien. Like it's in not even a real language. It's just like
well, it is.
Actually, the guy. It's based on Icelandic gibberish.
Are we talking about the same song? Because I feel like
it's a girl.
To be honest,
don't have to
I feel like it's a
we
girl
need to
singing.
take a break.
Okay.
So why don't we take a break and
let's go to the internet.
Right, I'm not saying you the song.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just wanting to make sure we're both talking about the same thing.
No, yeah.
But anyway, okay.
Okay.
Break time.
We're back. So yeah, we were talking about the same song, Star of Flare.
Yes. And I still don't like it.
That's okay. At least we hammered it out.
I still don't like it. I don't like the song. I don't like the fucking bullshit band that they don't whatever the fuck.
You don't like his sexual choices.
I don't like his fucking homeland.
His orientation.
His skin color.
You don't like anything.
I don't like his hair color. I hate that goddamn band. I hate it in this movie. Get it out of my American film. Sorry, okay. I really just have a problem because it sounds so new and polished and everything else sounds old and whatever, but I concede to your point, Michael.
I have a feeling, I did not look this up, but at the time that Jaguar Shark puppet, the stop motion puppet, was the largest one to date.
Oh.
To be made. But that has been broken, I believe, by Kubo and the Two Strings, the giant skeleton monster.
I want to see that, probably.
Sure. I think it's on Netflix now. Hairplug.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely on Netflix. You need to watch it.
Those stop motion movies really get put on Netflix really fast. Because...
No, there was a good 3-month grace period where I bought it because it wasn't on Netflix.
Well, a lot of movies don't come out forever on Netflix. I'm saying Netflix specifically.
I think Netflix, they have, they've got a budget. They have to plan. I feel like they have to appeal to a wider audience for a lot of things, but then they get their cult
lots of kids watch. I'm just saying, I already kind of figured, a lot of kids are watching that shit.
Yeah.
But I think just... Just an observation.
Michael, you had a point earlier about how all of the ship and all of the equipment is old and out of date, breaking down. And that's why they need to let go, or whatever. Or, that they're holding on to the past.
Well, it's like the elves leaving Middle-earth. Like, this is a very common trope. That, like...
Shut your mouth.
The magic in the world is fleeting. Yeah. And, like, we're just going to have to live on without it.
They're living in ruins.
The Zissou is going away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point I was going to make is that that's the whole reason Ned dies, is because he actually... When the helicopter crashes, it's because it's not been serviced, it's old... And he says, while they're in the water, I should have scrapped this 12 years ago.
Well, but also heavy as fuck foreshadowing, not like the most heavy-handed foreshadowing I've ever seen in a movie.
Is the first time they
get in a plane, like, is this okay to fly? Whatever, like, Klaus fucking checks it every 6 months or whatever.
He's supposed to check it every 6 months.
Then cut to something else. Like, God, come on. I mean, I think it's supposed to be obvious foreshadowing. Maybe not,
but still, it doesn't foreshadow the fact that Ned dies.
Yeah, it foreshadows that it breaks.
I love the way they show that he is dying with the water coming up over
that was amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to know how they did that, too, because they...
Accidentally, I hope.
Me too, because
and they're like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly. I really hope that's how it happened. Now, because I feel like when the water is coming up, no blood, you don't know he's immortally wounded.
I think it was intentional because if you think about the color scheme of not just the movie, but the Team Zissou is it's baby blue.
Yeah, yeah.
And like that red invading, overpowering the blue is like death coming in and stealing away a team member.
It's just contrast, basic contrast.
Yeah. But I mean, it was specifically the timing of it, because Ned is hanging on, talking, and you just don't think because
he's already pretty.
Steve's fine. You think Ned might be fine, but then all of a sudden a wave splashes up, and it's just nothing but blood.
Yeah,
and like mid conversation.
Don Quixote. I was going to compare him to Don Quixote.
Oh,
sorry.
It's quick thing. Yeah. Hair plug, real quick, has something to do with Don Quixote. What's it called? The La Mancha.
Oh yeah, I watched it. Lost in La Mancha.
Lost in La Mancha. Yeah. It's the documentary about Terry Gilliam's failed attempts at making a movie about Don Quixote. It's awesome. It's on fucking Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary.
I'm gonna fuck, dude.
Well, you know,
I've already seen it before.
That film is still technically in production. Like, there is still a chance Terry Gilliam will actually be able to
because they've shot stuff.
Wow, man.
It's just so many things have been cursed it.
People have died. You know, his career was not doing well. Like, a lot of his movies bombed.
This is before Fear and Loathing. This is 80s. I think is when they started it.
How could he continue it, though, with footage?
Because it's a passion project. It's just one of those things he feels it's important. He's a fucking
he could just restart.
Artist,
he would probably restart and not use the footage.
But I think if he can ever make it some way, he'll make it. You know. It's like the thing.
Is it because he has a certain vision for it? Or is he just...
I think he thinks the story's important.
But I
mean, like,
I can't
technically anyone could take it then, you know?
Yeah, but this is
he doing a specific thing with it?
Yeah, he always does.
Terry Gilliam's, like, the themes that he recycles, I feel like, are made for the Don Quixote.
Okay.
Like, I think he feels that way, too. It's like, this is
Fear
going to
and
be
Loathing is fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm thinking about it, it's like, all of Monty Python, I mean...
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, like that.
I've never seen... Well, I think I've seen some of that movie.
That's a good one. It's good. The
Zero Theorem is totally that. Dude, I guess I haven't really thought about it, but it's people chasing this thing that might not be there.
Like
fighting
a
fictional goal or a thing that they're created for themselves to achieve. Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
That's how I was thinking about this the movie with the Wes Anderson's themes. Like, just going down the thing, okay, and it's like, oh, it's so obvious. Like, but if you just step back and like, it's pretty obvious. Specifically, like very, like whatever. Directors have a vision. It's obvious.
Yeah. The has there ever been? Can we think of movies that like there's been a father-son relationship, but without any other siblings or the other spouse, where it's just between the father and the son, and there's The Road. Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome.
I mean, I'm sure there's so many.
My point was going to be about this movie is this relationship between a father and son, and just the father and son, not the parents and son, or the father specifically, mother there with the son. Like this awkward relationship with your father and just you. I have like this theory that it's so strangely personal, or like there's like this like intimacy between your father is never natural, you know?
Yeah.
It's never supposed
awkward.
Exactly. You're never supposed to have
because
this
in that
direct
in
prolonged
that
relationship
kind
with
of
your
nuclear
father.
family model, your mother is the caregiver, and like
even
the
just
love.
in nature. Like that prolonged relationship with your father is so unnatural for some reason.
He's just like, I fucked your mom, I'm out.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's. I mean, even though that doesn't happen nowadays, I mean it does, but
it happens probably more than ever.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Like that's not the
model.
The model, I guess, yeah. But it's still.
It's still in us, like genetically, because we still are we're pack animals. We're creatures of our environment, and I think we're supposed to quote unquote whatever. Maybe we're not supposed to anything, but that's a different conversation. But like.
I just think what comes out of that intimacy
I think
so
whatever
strange.
you're about to say, you should not say supposed to. Maybe genetically inclined.
Well, I'm saying quote unquote supposed to. I'm saying that's what I mean. I don't agree with we're supposed to, whatever anything.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what our generation and a few generations maybe back have been about, is like a generation looking for fathers. You know, whether it be in our peers or heroes or ourselves making new families. I think that's the model's changed.
I think it's just a really interesting relationship. It's not normally explored in film. Like to that kind of isolated.
There are like so many examples, but we're just not thinking of them.
Yeah,
because that is like it is a grounds for, it's like fertile ground for story, because everyone has something with their dad. Even whether it's good or bad, it's like it's strange.
That's what I mean. Like
I understand what you're saying. It's
like
awkward.
in terms of The Road, it's good. I mean, the whole movie's bad, but it's that positive relationship.
Yeah, everything is bad except for the fact that the father cares for his son.
And in this movie,
that's
like
the most bleak
specifically, their relationship is like.
That's why I'm choosing to never watch that movie.
Yeah, it's.
I read it
watch,
on
so good.
As a recommendation on a road trip. I read The Road, and then.
Yeah,
it's good. I mean, it's great.
No, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's a great movie, but it's gonna bite your bones. It hurts.
It's gonna bite your bones.
It hurts, man. It hurts.
I'll just not. I'll take your word for it.
I didn't sleep for years after I saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sleep for
okay, well, what's your favorite part?
Wrap up.
What's your favorite part?
Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic's parts.
You know what? I don't know. I think my favorite part is not a part of the movie.
Or a favorite line, or
I think my favorite part is the way they. I don't know. It's hard. There's a lot. The whole movie. I don't know. I love this movie.
I have
all of its choices are hard for me to like separate into just like this is better and this is my favorite.
Okay, I'm gonna name two that we didn't talk about. When Steve gets the leeches and what that implies. The leeches? Do you remember they go through this like puddle?
Check for swamp leeches.
And he's covered in leeches and no one else has a single one. Like it implies that there's something, the Zissou quality that Esteban talked about in that interview.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all like so fantastical, but I do think that's a part of the movie.
It's so funny.
Then one of my favorite jokes is when they're leaving the island where they recover Bill Udall and Hennessy, and they see the three-legged dog Cody. And
it's so sad.
He says like, "Oh, we
forgot Cody. We
have to go back." And he sounds like, I mean,
you know why that's funny?
It's pause. Goodbye, Cody.
Yeah. Do you know why that's funny though? Like what I mean,
because he's an asshole and it's awesome.
No, because like
is that a funny part?
When the
it's
Philippines,
funny
to me it's funny and sad. But when the pirates come for the first time, and they leave, Steve's on the deck and he's like, "Those fucking amateurs! You left your dogs, you idiot!
Yeah.
They left the dog when they did it too. It's fun. It's funny because it's a reversal, but it is also sad.
This movie isn't one of those movies where I'm like laughing my dick off, but there are times where I'll like. like laugh really hard for a second, rewind it, and watch it because of things like Klaus in the background. Or his Klaus. And when they're watching the old footage and whatever, he's just out of nowhere. He's got a fucking mohawk.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because
it's an old story. Like there's
an old
story behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I love shit like that where it's like other shit's different and like why?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna tell you why, but you can just
You can
fantasize. You can fucking figure it out yourself. All of the little reactions that Klaus takes are my favorite part. Like all of his reactions to things, he overreacts really to everything.
When he too, like you can picture Klaus in so many situations. And you know how he would.
He's a full character. Yeah. Like when he's walking away from Ned and they like have a little interact, they like shit at each other. Is after he smacks him.
He smacks Ned. Yeah. And he's walking away,
and he's like, but
what's the line?
And he says like, oh, I don't have to fucking. Whatever he says, some idle threat back to him, and he walks away with confidence, but then turns back like, oh shit, is he coming for me?
He's like, if you ever touch me again, I'll kick your goddamn teeth out. Yeah. And Klaus is like, I think
not if I see you first.
Not if I see you first, buddy. Yeah, some shit like that.
I think the actual line is not if I don't see you first. Yeah. And he looks back because he realizes he said it wrong. Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Well, that's
also afraid.
Funny because not if I don't see you first. That has kind of nothing to do with what he just said. It's kind of like when someone says, like, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm fine, how are you? Like, you kind of answered what I was saying, but you were obviously, like, too nervous about the interaction to actually focus on what I said. Yeah. But that exactly what I'm saying. There's so much story in that little interaction.
When he crosses the line, and Steve's like, oh, yeah, sure? And he's like, yes, I am.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've been thinking about doing it again.
And he's like, wait, I don't understand. What are we doing? You said, he's like, cross the line if you're going to quit. And like, my favorite part about that is, like, the audio, like, it's not actually perfect audio. You barely hear what Klaus says. He's like, oh, I misunderstood. Do it again. Yeah. But it's like so subtle and like the boom is like halfway across the boat.
That character he's an open wound.
So good.
Yeah, I love that shit. I love Klaus. And my favorite line I wrote down. It's they're talking. This is before they actually go on the expedition, I guess, and. He says, like, he's talking to Dumbledore. I wrote down, my first note is Dumbledore, just because we always need to pull a reference to Dumbledore, to Harry Potter. And he's talking about how he's going to kill the fucking jaguar shark, and we're like, we can't have you kill the fucking jaguar shark, whatever, insurance, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to fight it.
He says, I'm going to fight it, but I'll let it live. What about my dynamite? Like, it's just like, boom, boom, boom.
It's the best.
And, I don't know, something we didn't really mention, that it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I realized, because there was an arc to this, actually, Steve Zissou calls somebody a faggot in this movie. He calls the reporter... At the very beginning, he calls somebody, maybe Hennessy.
That's hard faggot.
Hard F, yeah.
And why are you laying that slick faggot?
Yeah. And, I mean, it is like kind of laying the groundwork of this dude is shitty. Yeah. But then he keeps calling her a bull dyke. Yeah. Like over and over. And then there's an arc at the end. He sees Hennessy. And they're talking about something like, oh, we're bad fathers, whatever. It's like
bad husbands, aren't we?
Yeah, bad husbands, aren't we? And he's like, but I've got an excuse. I'm part gay. Yeah. And then Steve Zissou says, well, apparently, supposedly we all are. Yeah. So it's that I realize I don't think it kind of is like, whoa, watching movies. And he's like, that's a hard F, dude. Like, you can't just say that.
He finally listens to new music. That he's only been listening to old stuff for a while. And then he catches on to the sign of the changes.
All right, maybe I'm sold on it. Maybe it's the mixing. It comes in too strong.
You know what, though? I will, in context, I will defend him saying, why you laying that slick faggot till the end of the day.
He has his own way of talking about people. And I do think this is of a time. I think this is supposed to be set in a time. And I think that Wes Anderson wouldn't just be throwing out F-bombs willy-nilly.
Of course not.
So I think there's a reason. I think you're supposed to be like, this guy's a dickhead. Kind of, because he's like got a fucking negative nickname for everybody. Bond company stooge or whatever. Like he's got things of like he's always putting people down because nobody's as good as him, except actually he hates himself. But then there's redemption with that line. I think that's interesting because I had a problem with it, and then he kind of redeems. I wonder if that was intentional.
And I do like during the credits sequence, it's cheesy as all hell.
The whole get the band together.
But the implication of another great adventure and
it's a new team.
Yeah.
And he's embracing everybody. Yeah. Like the fucking Matthew Gray Gubler from your old Criminal Minds Afro kid that got shot that comes back.
No, he got macheted.
That's right.
Well, he got macheted on that. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I young guy.
I think he's the one that made a documentary about the making of this film.
Really?
Because he was like a non-speaking part. And
he had a few lines.
He was in like film school at the time, so he made a documentary about the film he was in.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's cool. Look into that.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to watch that for this episode, but I didn't.
I wish I would have.
I have a final thought.
Yes.
And I don't know. I wish I had hammered out the stop more ahead of time. This could have been
I have a million things I wish
a great illuminator.
Illuminator.
So Steve Zissou is constantly being criticized for fraud, or at least in recent times, people think like everything he's doing is kind of staged.
Yeah,
like it's not
exactly.
real. Everything's too over the top to be believable. And in this movie, is that it's like the leeches on him, even like the colors seem out of this world, and
things being.
I feel like there's something here, like perhaps this movie is itself a untruthful retelling of a story. Like this could be somebody telling the story about Steve Zissou, but there's a true story that's more rooted in reality.
Yeah. Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah.
And maybe.
I don't know.
Hence the giant Jacques Cousteau credit at the end. That everyone seemed to miss.
Yeah.
No, I knew about it.
No, but I think
that's a good point.
I think he means an actual, like, these events happened, and inspired by Jacques Cousteau, but not like in a removed way.
But there's also like a real Steve Zissou who's not like, this is not nearly as outrageous of a reality.
Like this came from a kernel of a guy that's kind of like a rogue
version. Who made up a lot of shit.
Yeah, but also fishermen. Big fish. Like that's a common trope of lying about something.
He's
is
a fisherman.
This fish was this big. Whatever. Like maybe there's something. It's a take on that too. But I like that. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I just thought about that when I watched it.
Before we get to the quiz.
Oh, we all need to give it a good old rating. I think it's is this a triple D?
Triple D.
We going triple D?
I would be
D.
Triple D.
All right, that's 3 Drews. That's the highest rating.
Highest rating, Drew.
You can earn here at the hair club.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm a narcissist. That's not the. I mean, saying that's not the reason.
He is a narcissist.
I am, but that is not the reason.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm the most positive, and everybody knows it.
Yes,
he likes everything,
and I love it.
It's not ironic at all.
It's not. It's not ironic. I don't. We're in a stage. We're in an age of post irony. I have
a slightly related story.
Okay.
Before the quiz.
Story.
Okay, that's
good.
Oh,
okay.
Before the quiz.
Make it a tight 5.
As all of my friends would attest, I've never been more drunk than
you are right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
When 3 Halloweens ago.
Oh boy.
Me and my friends dressed up as Team Zissou.
You're retelling?
Oh, cool.
And I went out on the town dressed up as Steve Zissou. Actually, no. I was more like Ned. No, I was more like Ned, I think. I had like the jacket, the like sort of windbreaker jacket and the blue pants. It was all. I mean, it wasn't like a Comic-Con sort of.
Right.
When you're in the group,
it was mainly women's clothes. Let's just put it that way, which I was wearing.
Did you feel real?
I felt great.
Sexy,
I felt great. Well, it explained everything else that night and during the night. I think I've told the story.
Oh yeah.
Before.
Oh yeah. You told me definitely.
But that's just another little layer
at the gay dance club.
Yeah.
I told you that part too.
Having a hell of a time.
Yeah. That was a good night. I just wanted to re-bring it up.
Did you ruin someone's relationship that night?
I think that's the part you're missing.
No, I'm missing like 10 parts of the story, but since I only have 5 minutes, I just go re-listen to our old episode when I fully explain that story.
Okay.
Did you tell that one?
I forget which episode, but I definitely did.
So
Andrew just gets drunk sometimes. That's all you need to know.
Before we move on to the quiz, which will determine who gets to pick the next film.
Yes.
Please tell your friends about our podcast.
Yeah.
We don't advertise, so you could probably
try our best. Look at your Instagrams.
Yeah.
I think it's the best place to look at us on your Instagrams.
A rating on iTunes or wherever you listen would help us a lot.
Even if you're listening 15 years in the future.
Or on YouTube.
Yeah,
give us a thumbs up on YouTube.
Even if we're all dead, come on.
Well, if we're all dead, who's paying for all of our
whoever is listening
space on the internet?
Whoever's listening.
It'll always be
there.
Does
Lipson just...
we are immortal at this point.
that's the reason I do this, because it's the time capsule for when we all inevitably become really important, and then we have a company together, and then
can we do a Kickstarter for just like $5 a month? Like
no, ew. Oh, man. Nobody's gonna ever pay for this shit. We're gonna make absolutely $0 for that. And I can't blame anybody.
Anyway,
you know what time it is?
It's time for the
Please.
Like how fast
I don't usually sing it.
You never do. I'm glad you don't.
I'm glad I don't either.
Alright. Drew, hit it. Let's do it.
This movie...
Yes.
What do you want? I'll give you an option. You want the year first? You want the genre first?
This is all up to you. This is all up to you.
No, this is my version.
Genre.
You want the genre first?
Yeah.
A crime drama thriller, according to IMDb.
Crime drama thriller. Okay.
Okay.
The Silence of the Lambs.
Nope.
Okay. Well, Jonathan Demme just passed away.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P.
That was a good guess.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I guess I forgot about this, but speaking of dead people, this movie has a person that died in it.
Wow, the only one.
The only one that died this year. Someone that died this year.
Oh, okay.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Ooh, how?
And I didn't even think about that, and I'm glad. Not glad, but
crime
topical.
drama thriller. I know who you are even referencing now.
I don't know. I actually
you
don't
really
know.
Can't even pick because there are so many fucking people.
No, but I think I know who.
Okay. Year.
I hope you didn't see my phone.
I didn't.
No, you're too far away.
I didn't.
This movie is on Netflix. I tried to pick something that was also on Netflix.
Okay.
Just easier. It's fun. And this movie, 2014 came out. 2014.
Oh, this changes things. Fuck. I'm trying to hold my cards close to the chest here, but I want to scream out something. Not the movie yet.
Okay.
Damn it.
I'll give you a curveball clue. This movie is not... I thought, when I saw the title of this movie, I was like, oh shit, they came out with a new X-Men movie.
Fuck. That's an interesting
What?
Too.
But it's not an X-Men movie.
Okay.
It's not a superhero movie at all.
Okay.
Fuck.
Crime drama thriller.
Any more clues?
Setting.
What is it?
Where's
the setting?
Dark night time. A lot of the time.
Night.
Nightness. Cities. There are...
you said it's not an X-Men movie, and I keep thinking about superheroes for some reason.
It's not.
I know.
It's just the title of this movie led me to believe that it could be possibly an X-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not X-Man.
Colossus.
No, but I do want to see that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks
Colossal?
Goofy. Yeah.
Colossal. Sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
Just interesting. That dude makes some fucking weird movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't get mad at me. Jesus.
Damn it.
I'm just having so much you guys
trouble.
got nothing.
I feel like this is always the worst part of our
this
podcast.
is hard. No, it's not bad, but these aren't very good clues.
Just because
the person that died is Bill Paxton.
I knew it was Bill Paxton. Fuck.
Not the lead.
How'd you know it was Bill Paxton?
Because I don't know why. I just knew it was going to be Bill Paxton. That's what I wanted to scream out, but I didn't want to help. I didn't want to help Michael.
It's about journalism.
Nightcrawler. Fuck. Nightcrawler.
Oh, I forgot Bill Paxton.
Damn it. I wanted to say
God.
that, but I was like, in my head, I was like, I know it's Bill Paxton, but Bill Paxton isn't in Nightcrawler.
I forgot he was in it.
No, but then half a second later, I was like, no, he fucking was in it, and then I said Nightcrawler. Fuck
nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yes, I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you're familiar with this movie.
Yeah.
This is idiotic, but I watched half of it, fell asleep, and haven't watched the rest. So I am excited to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, and you don't even know what it is?
I've seen it.
You have? Oh, okay.
I forgot about it, but
yeah.
Don't say anything about it because I still.
Yeah, that's what the podcast is about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Glad you got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is number 4 for me.
I was gonna say, is it like 4?
This is number 4.
A
year and a half later.
I rewatched The Running Man. The very first episode.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You rewatched it?
I've been thinking about going back and rewatching
it's
ones.
It's fun, yeah. I like that movie.
I would like to do an episode where...
It's outrageous, but I think it's good.
We watch some movie that was shitty, that we didn't like, or maybe that or whatever. Just watch another movie again and see how we feel.
Yeah,
like one of the original ones.
We're gonna comedy. We're gonna watch Precious Puppies every.
Maybe the comedy episode. Every 100 episodes. Actually, there was like Cute Kittens. There's Precious Penguins.
Oh, I'll bet
there's Precious Puppies 2, bigger this time. There's Beautiful Birds.
Are we allowed to? I mean, no one's listening at this point, but can we do hair plugs?
I'll play a hair plug song.
Just I saw an indie film that you can rent on Amazon now. It's called The Void. It was crowdfunded. And it's, I think, the first feature film by these two. It's a writing and directing team, so like two guys do both. And it's kind of like an exploitative horror, but it's got a lot of Lovecraftian elements that I was excited. That's why I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like, it's about these people trapped in a hospital, and there are monsters coming from inside and cultists on the outside.
Oh, shit.
It's good.
It's crowdfunded, and when was it released?
2016, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. I mean, it's not gonna... It reminded me a lot of The Thing. They use a lot of practical effects.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Have we not picked that movie yet?
The Thing?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you wouldn't watch it anyways.
I've already watched it, so I would. But I don't know how I watched it the first time, actually. It was hard to watch it. I think I was just trapped in a room, honestly. And someone was...
Was that annoying or what?
What?
It's the Hair Club.